Everybody, it's Coach Robin here, and if you are watching this video, you have committed and are officially in the VSF 2022 Transformation Challenge. Let's fucking go, okay? As I said before, we are in this together. You guys are going to be in this challenge from February 1st to April 23rd. I am also actively in my prep for my first competition of the season, which runs a little bit beyond the end of the transformation challenge. However, we're all in this together and all trying to transform our bodies in a matter of 12 to 14 weeks. So with that being said, there are currently 24 people in this challenge. I am not opening it up to anybody else. This is all I'm willing to take on at this point, which allows me to give you the attention and time that you need while still being able to focus on myself and what I need to do for myself, as well as run VSF and all of the other clients who are not in the challenge, and of course, work-life balance. So, as far as the challenge is concerned, the onus is on you to do what you need to do. I am here to encourage, guide, motivate, have a stiff hand, whatever the case I need to do in order for you to realize that you can do this. But I am not here to do the work for you. You have to do this yourself. I looked at everybody's goals. I looked at everybody's weights. And so far, everything looked pretty good. Most of the goals were realistic. Those that I had questions or had some opinion or advice about, I provided that to the individuals individually back in WhatsApp. Also, make sure you check your WhatsApp and try to check that on a regular basis as well. I don't really foresee myself sending out any individualized messages on a regular basis, but just make sure you are aware and you're getting notifications that you do have a message in WhatsApp. That's typically going to be from me. But for some of you, I did send back some additional requirements that I needed from you, i.e. You may have not sent me all the pictures that I require. You may not have sent the pictures in good quality where I can actually see what I needed to see, meaning the lighting or something like that was off. So make sure you check your WhatsApp and respond and provide those things that I requested to me ASAP. So as far as the challenge is concerned, there are going to be multiple components to this. Nutrition, workout, recovery, motivation, the meditation. As I always say, when it comes to you trying to transform your body and making something a lifestyle for you, it's not just a physical change. It's a physical, it's an emotional, it's a mental change. It encompasses a lot of things, because if any one of those things is off and not working together, it will affect everything else. So it's very important that you understand that this 12 weeks that you're in this transformation challenge, you really have to be okay with being selfish with yourself. I'm not saying that you have to ignore people or anything like that, but you're going to have people possibly that won't understand why you're doing this. You're going to have people possibly that won't understand why they want to do something and you've opted to not do it, or why you even do it and you decide, for example, going out to eat and you order something healthy while they're pigging out on other stuff. You have to be okay with, because this is how you make these things a lifestyle. You have to be okay with being selfish with yourself. So with that being said, there are supplements and everything that I personally use. I've mentioned this before. It is absolutely not a requirement for you to use any of these things. I will list the ones that I use on a regular basis and what they're used for on the page. Like I said, it's not a requirement for you to use these things. I firmly believe in letting the body take care of itself. But at the same time, I also believe in supplementation to help with that process, especially as we get older and we're starting to lose some things that, that come naturally for us, things that, where our levels drop and things like that. And so supplementation is there to supplement, not to replace. That is the big key to that. It is to supplement, not to replace. And too many people use supplementation to replace things. We're not replacing. I don't subscribe to fat burners. I don't subscribe to detox pills. I don't subscribe to any magic potions, because that doesn't teach you how to learn your body and learn how to do things the right way. Don't expect me to talk about a 2-week cleanse or a 30-day cleanse or anything like that, because what the hell are we doing that for? Why do you need to cleanse your body for 30 days? What the hell are you eating or not eating that requires you to have so much garbage and bacteria in your body that you need to cleanse it for 30 days and only drink liquids? We don't need to do that. So everything that you're going to get from me that's going to help you in this process is going to be realistic, measurable, timely, and goal specific. So what I ask of you is that you follow the process. You listen to what I'm telling you to do. You implement the things that I'm telling you to do. And I promise you, you will have success if you're doing everything the right way. Will you absolutely meet the whole goal that you have that you stated? Maybe, maybe not, because we cannot predict how our bodies are going to respond to anything. I go through this every single year when I prep for competitions, but I do get the desired results. Sometimes they're better than what I expected. Sometimes it's right as I expected, but I've never had a situation where my stated goal was less than what I expected or severely less. It might have been right on point. It might have been a little bit above. If it was less than what I expected, the stated goal, I may have gained in other areas. So keep that in mind and keep an open mind about this. Be transparent, upfront, and honest with me. If you decide you want to implement something in the process over this next 12 weeks, please reach out to me and let me know. What I don't want is to have people going and implementing and doing stuff because their friend told them to do it, their family member told them to do it, they read about it or whatever the case, and you break yourself or you completely screw something up about what you're trying to do and then come to me to fix it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I have too many things and too many people to really focus on, to include myself and my own life, for me to fix something that you keep breaking. So I'm not going to do it. So if you have a question about something, reach out to me, because I understand that we all have people in our lives that are experts or, you know, whatever they claim to be in this area, that area, or another. But the problem is, when we're not talking to each other, meaning this person, you know, and myself, who's seeing you on a pretty consistent basis, are not talking to each other, you have conflicting information and conflicting things that you're doing, and that they don't work together. So at least give me the benefit of the doubt and give me the courtesy and respect in my profession. I've been doing this for plus 30 years, and I have a whole bunch of people in my network that I consult with on a regular basis when it comes to my clients and myself. So give me the courtesy and at least the respect to cross things with me, so I can say, yeah, that's a great idea, or no, I really don't think you should do that, or whatever. Just give me the courtesy. But if you decide to go off haphazardly and go reckless and break yourself, I'm not fixing you. I'm just not going to do it. So I posted some workouts on the page. They're all banded workouts, but like I said, you can do those with weights if you have them. But if you don't, all it requires is a band or body weight, for that matter. There's a core workout, there's an upper body workout, there's a lower body workout. So I posted 3 different workouts on the page, and they are posted in the workout folder. So as far as those are concerned, everybody that's watching this or that is in this challenge, I see you either in class or I see you for one-on-one, or you're a virtual client. So as far as the workouts are concerned, those are designed to be supplemented to what you're already doing, not to replace. Now, if for some reason you were scheduled to come to class, you were scheduled to have a session with me, and you couldn't make it, then yes, you can absolutely take those workouts and do them in that sense. But they're there to supplement. So you can add more to your workouts or whatever, as long as you can physically do them and you're giving yourself proper rest as far as the workouts are concerned. You should aim to work out at least 5 days a week. I personally do 6, and I take a rest day, but everybody is not me, and I understand that. But at a minimum, you should aim to do 5 workouts, 5 days of workouts a week. That incorporates strength, cardio, flexibility. Okay, strength, cardio, flexibility. Strength, cardio, flexibility, and core. Cannot forget the core. Strength, cardio, flexibility, and core. So you can put those workouts in where you feel they're necessary, or where you feel you want to have them in as well. And I'll be uploading more as we go along for you to have a little bit to pull from. But right now, I want you to focus on those 3 that I have uploaded. As far as the workouts are concerned, you need to follow the instructions that are there. So The only caveat is if there's something or an exercise listed that you physically cannot do because of limited mobility or issues with, joints, anything like that, then you can go to a modified version of that. And a good example that's listed there is the mountain climbers. Everybody can't get on the floor and do a mountain climber because of mobility issues and things like that, but you can do the modified, which we've done in the studio plenty of times. The only thing you cannot do is change the amount of what's there. So if it says 4 rounds or 4 sets, you must do 4 rounds or 4 sets, and choose an intensity level of a dumbbell or a band that's going to require you to exert some effort as you get closer to finishing that set. So you cannot change the instructions, you cannot change the number of sets, you cannot change the number of reps, you cannot change the time. What's listed there is what you should be doing. If it's a superset, it's one exercise that's followed right by the other. Behind it, it's a superset is 2, and then you take your break, and then you go to the next one. But you cannot change the workout as prescribed unless you need to go modified on something, and that's perfectly fine. But reps, sets, time, amounts of anything are not to be changed. If you have any questions on that, post and let me know. With regards to the food, you guys need to strive to eat at least 3 times a day. Some of you are only eating 1 time a day and can't understand why you're holding on to body fat. You can't understand why you're not developing any type of lean muscle or anything like that. You're not eating enough. And just because you eat a meal that's 2,000 calories does not mean you have gotten your recommended amount or the right amount of macronutrients, which is your protein, fats, and carbs. Those 3 things are essential for your body. You cannot eliminate any of those 3 things. So people that say they don't eat carbs are just lying out their ass. You have to eat carbs. They're an essential macronutrient. The type of carbs that you eat is what differs. So you cannot get your essential macronutrients in one meal. What you need for an entire day, you cannot get them in one meal. You might get 2,000 calories in a meal, but you're not going to get 150 grams of protein. You're not going to get 117 grams of carbs. You're not going to get 25 or 30 grams of fat in one meal, which is why I always say it's important to eat to your macros and not to your calories. So as far as the what I'm going to do is try to make it a little bit easier for you guys in terms of your measured amounts so that you don't have to try to figure this out, okay? For the most part, everybody wants to lose. So that means that you need to eat in a calorie deficit. Of course, if you're trying to gain muscle, you're generally eating in a calorie surplus, but you're bulking and you need to, you do what's called a clean bulk, meaning you're putting on muscle and very little body fat. You do have to put on some fat in order to gain muscle, but most people bulk the wrong way and they eat a lot of garbage food, and garbage food produces a garbage result. So for that reason, I'm going to give you ounces of what you should be measuring out with regards to your food. The only exception to this are those people that are currently using the Meals of Dopeness meal prep service, because their food already comes measured out and it's in the measurements that I'm also going to give out. So you typically don't have to worry about, measuring something out that comes from Christina unless you're eating a snack or something like that. So if you're eating chicken, all right, so you might want to write this down and replay it or whatever so you get the amounts. If you're eating chicken, you want to focus on eating 4 ounces of chicken for females. For males, you want to focus on eating 5 to 6 ounces of chicken. If you're eating a starchy carb, potatoes, rice, quinoa, any of those things, you want to focus on eating 4 ounces. That's for male and females. If you're eating a veggie, you want to focus on eating 4 ounces or 4 to 5 ounces of that veggie, and that's for male and female. This is going to help you get in enough of your macronutrients without trying to focus on counting to make sure that you're getting everything. And if you spread this out over 3 to 4 meals per day, those measurements are per meal. They're per meal. So if you're spreading this out over 3 to 4 meals per day, you should be pretty close to eating your macronutrients of what you need. So chicken, 4 ounces for females, 5 ounces for males. I forgot about beef. Beef is going to be 4 ounces, 5 ounces for males. Fish, if it's a white fish, is going to be 5 ounces for females, 6 ounces for males. If it's a salmon, which is a very fatty fish, it's going to be 4 ounces for females, 5 ounces for males. So make sure you're writing this information down. This is all going to calculate into you eating in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. If you are one that's trying to gain, which nobody is trying to gain weight, everybody's just trying to gain muscle, you really don't have to change these amounts at all. The major difference when you're trying to gain is the amount of protein that you need to consume to promote muscle building. So I'm giving you guys the baseline of those numbers, which will help you get to where you need to be. You need to drink half your body weight in ounces of water per day. Half your body weight in ounces of water per day. If you make coffee, if you make tea or something like that, that amount of water that you use to make that cup of tea is taken in this, is subtracted from your ounces per day. So if you're supposed to eat 100 ounces, or not eat, but drink 100 ounces of water per day, you're not drinking 100 ounces plus another 8 ounces for whatever the tea is or whatever. You're just going to subtract that. I usually just take my water bottle and I keep it filled. And if I make some tea out of it, I use the water from that bottle and I make the tea from that. But you can do it however way you feel is best for you. In terms of your snacks, we want to focus on healthy snacks and the serving size for those healthy snacks. That doesn't mean that you can't have more than 1 serving per day of that, but you shouldn't have 2 servings at one time. And the biggest culprit of that is people who eat nuts and fruit. So if your nuts are 22 nuts or 1 ounce of nuts or whatever per serving, you're going to eat that for that serving and then add something else to that. And then later on in the day, you can have those nuts again. But most people will eat 2 servings of nuts at one time and then turn around and eat more and then don't realize that they're actually packing on calories and fat in the process of doing that, and don't understand why they're not losing weight again. So when you're talking about your snack meals can be a protein drink. That's perfectly fine. Piece of fruit, and or some raw veggies or something like that. It can be nuts, it can be string cheese. The serving size, read the packages, the serving size. String cheese, it can be Greek yogurt. Again, the serving size. I emphasize that over and over and over. So if you're eating 3 main meals per day, you're gonna focus on eating one snack or 2 snacks. That takes you up to a total of 5. The snacks are inclusive. They are counted as meals, even though they're smaller portion sizes, but they're counted as meals. Do not get wrapped up on the type of meal that you're eating. One of the clients asked me that this morning. She asked me, what did I eat for breakfast? And I said, I don't really consider my meals breakfast, lunch, dinner. I consider them meals 1 through 5. If I have 5 meals to eat, I eat meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5. That keeps me from not getting my mind fixated on I have to eat a certain type of food at a certain type of meal. What you're focusing on is getting the nutrients in and the macros. So my breakfast meal, or what most people will call a breakfast meal, is not necessarily breakfast for me. It's not necessarily breakfast food. If I decide I want some oatmeal or I decide I want some pancakes, I'll make them. But my breakfast meal or my first meal of the day is whatever meal I want to eat. And sometimes that's chicken, rice, and veggies, or chicken and veggies or something. So I count my meals as meals 1 through 5. So this is an example of getting that psychological, that mental aspect out of there, because when most people think of breakfast food, they think of breakfast foods. Most people don't really care for breakfast foods. And because they don't care for breakfast foods, when they put that title to the meal, they tend to not eat it. So just think of your meals as number meals and eat them in that order. Make sure you give yourself at least 2 hours before bed between your last meal and you going to bed. You don't want to eat and go right to bed. You want to at least have 2 hours. If you can't get to at least an hour, you don't want to lay down with the food fully on your stomach, because that's actually somewhat interrupting the digestive process. So the more you're up and still kind of moving around, the more your digestive process starts to happen and your body starts to really burn off those extra calories and that extra food. So you want to make sure you focus on that. Coffee is fine. Tea is fine. Remember, caffeine is a appetite suppressant, which is why when you drink coffee before you do anything else in the morning, most of the time you can go until 10, 11 o'clock in the morning before you eat anything. You're constantly drinking coffee and you're suppressing your appetite. That's what caffeine does. So because I want you to focus on eating these meals, I want you to eat first and then have the coffee after the fact. Eat first, have the coffee after the fact. Don't have the coffee and then call yourself eating. If you're one of those people that are on the go, it's hard for you to get your meals in the morning, a protein drink is perfectly fine to drink at the start of your morning. But we need to get food in your system to jumpstart your metabolism, because keep in mind, while you have been asleep and at rest, your metabolism has already also been at sleep and at rest. So you need to wake it up, and you need to wake it up with food. That is very important to jumpstart and get your metabolism functioning like it's supposed to be functioning. As far as off-plan meals, some of you call them cheat meals. I call them off-plan meals. Those are just meals that you're not tracking. As I said before, you need to take a picture of the meal. So whatever it is that you're eating, you need a picture of it and you need to send it to me. Okay? When you're doing this, you still need to be cognizant of the amount of calories that you're putting in, because if you're on 15 to 1800 or 15 to 2000 calories a day, and that's how this is going to spread out once you start measuring out your measurements, that's per day. That's your total calorie intake per day. And then you turn around and you eat one meal that's 2500 calories, but still not meeting your macros, and then you still have to turn around and try to get the other food in, you're not going to want to eat. So you still need to be cognizant of the amount of food that you're consuming when you have these off-plan meals. Also, when you have the off-plan meals, understand and know that your weight will probably go up just a little bit. Don't be concerned about that, as long as you're working out at the intensity that you should be working out at, and you are actually eating the meals, the healthy meals like you should be eating. Everything will level out. It happens to me every single time. Every time my coach gives me an off-plan meal where I don't have to track and I go get that nice juicy burger that I like, my weight goes up by 2 pounds, sometimes 3 when I get on the scale the next day. But by the time I get on the scale the day after that, I've lost 3 to 4 pounds again. I've lost those 3 plus another 1 or 2 pounds. So don't get yourself wrapped up in, oh my God, my weight went up, I'm not going to eat any more off-plan meals. Trust me, you don't want to go through this whole process and try to, as much as you want to eat healthy, and in your head you're saying that, you're going to get tired of doing that. And because I have to do that on a regular basis, trust me, I'm a little more disciplined and a lot stronger than most, and it gets to me. So I'm just giving you what I know is going to happen. So per week, you will have two off-plan meals. Okay, right now, 2 off-plan meals. If you decide that you don't want to do the off-plan meals, that's fine. You can have an off-plan, a snack or something that's not necessarily, the healthiest thing, ice cream or something like that. But either way, it only amounts to 2. Okay. And that's going to get you more in the habit of eating and choosing healthy items as it pertains to your nutrition. So we want to make this more healthy than unhealthy, which is why there's 2 meals included right now. Now, for some reason, if I start to see that when you're sending me your weights in, the numbers are going up instead of going down, then that's telling me that a couple of things are happening. Your exercise is not at the intensity that it's supposed to be. Your nutrition is not where it's supposed to be. And typically it points more towards the nutrition than it does the exercise. So if I start seeing that those numbers are going up instead of going down, first of all, I don't want you to start starving yourself, because that's what most people do. They'll say, oh my God, my weight's going up, I'm just not going to eat. That is the worst thing you can do. You need to eat in order for your body to burn. Most people think that they need to starve themselves in order for them to lose weight. And that is not how this process works. That is not how anything works as far as this is concerned. You have to eat to lose. If you don't eat to lose and you start starving yourself, your body starts holding on to everything. You put your body in a catabolic state where it's basically in a survival mode, and it starts holding on to whatever it is you're giving it and digesting and shedding very little, because it doesn't know when you're going to give it normal food again. So you have to eat to lose. So if the weight numbers start going up as we're going through this process, then I'm going to start making changes to you as an individual. I'm not going to push this off on the whole group, because if I'm seeing progress from the group, but I have a handful of individuals who's not making progress, whose weights are going up, whose body fats are going up, then I'm going to look to make changes to those individuals only. So this is not a mass punishment or anything like that type of thing. So we need to keep that in mind and keep that understood. Again, transparency. Be transparent with me. You're gonna have times where you're just not feeling it. You're gonna have time where it's gonna be a struggle. These are all normal things. But at some point, I've got to get you to a point of realizing that this is a lifestyle that you need to adopt, and everything else fits into that. When I was looking at the weights and stuff, I noticed that across the board, for the most part, with the exception of a handful, and when I say handful, I say that lightly, a handful of people who have lost weight. But for the most part, people have gained. And we shouldn't be going in the opposite direction, especially if that gain is in a gain in muscle. Muscle does not weigh more than fat. It is denser than fat, meaning you can compact more muscle into the same space than you can fat. But when I'm looking at these weight numbers and I'm going back and looking at your previous history, for those that have been with me for a while, I see the weight number increasing. We can no longer blame this on COVID. All of you have been working out with me during COVID, before COVID, and after COVID. So we can no longer blame this on COVID. And I know that we're delivering intense and very challenging workouts here in VSF. So everything is really pointing to your nutrition and what you don't do outside of VSF. And for some of you, if you're only seeing me a couple of times a week and you're not doing something outside of VSF as I have asked you to do and have given you exercises to do, then that's also the problem, and you're doing a disservice to yourself. We're all in this group at least over the age of 40. Everybody is over the age of 40. Time is not on your side in terms of you getting your entire life together. It is not on your side. You are basically fighting against aging, illnesses, and everything else. And the more you put this off, the worse you're putting yourself in, and if the worse situation and shape you're putting yourself in. And I don't want anybody to be reactive to a health issue. I want you to be proactive as much as possible. So, to recap what I said real quick, because this is a longer video than I expected, but, well, I shouldn't say expected. I knew it was going to be long. What the hell am I thinking? To recap what I said, half your body weight in ounces of water per day. At least 3 meals per day, 3 main meals. That's your first meal, second meal, third meal. I'm not going to call them breakfast, lunch, dinner. First meal, second meal, third meal. You can have snacks in between, a snack in between the first meal and the second meal, a snack in between the third meal and the fourth meal, or a snack after the fifth meal. You shouldn't really, the last meal of the day. You shouldn't need that snack because you should be full. Do not put your heavier meals towards the end of the day. You should be eating most of your calories at the beginning of the day and tapering off to smaller portions or smaller calories at the end of the day. Meaning, if you're eating, chicken, rice, and veggies, you want to try to do that stuff in the earlier part of the day. That's exactly what I do. My meals in the evening are typically a protein and a veggie only. A protein and a veggie only. If there are starchy carbs, and veggies are carbs, make sure you understand that. But if there are starchy carbs on my meal at the end of the day, it's very, very little. Very, very little. If you're going to be working out, you can, eat some carbs before you come to do your workout. That's going to be your fuel and energy source that actually helps you push through the workout. Do not try to not eat before you work out. Plan your meals 30 to 45 minutes up to an hour before you work out so your food can start digesting in your system and you can get into your bloodstream. Your glucose levels can go up and you have the energy to work out. So, with that being said, remember those measurements that I gave you. 4 ounces if you're eating chicken or poultry, 4 ounces on the starchy carbs, 4 to 5 ounces or 5 to 6 ounces on the veggies. And then for men, you're going to worry about the 5 ounces of the chicken, the 5 ounces of the red meat if you're doing red meat, if you're eating white fish, the 4 or 5 ounces if you're eating salmon, the 4 to 5 ounces. So just make sure you write in those measurements down and just have them near your scale or whatever so that you can reference them. Coffee and tea is fine as long as you're not over sugaring it and over creaming the coffee, because they all have calories. All right. But you don't have to exclude those. Somebody asked me about alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is fine. Some people, you cannot drink it to excess. Alcohol is it stunts muscle growth, it stunts body weight or body fat loss. So if you're going to do that, that's still going to be limited to that two, okay, with your off plan meals, okay. And when I say two, I'm talking about two normal drinks. I'm not talking about big jumbo ass drinks. All right, that's like four. So two normal drinks. All right, everybody knows what a normal drink is, no matter how much you like to drink and no matter how much you get liquored up. Two normal drinks. All right, so again, that ties into it. If I start seeing things go up, then I'm going to start clamping down a little bit more. But I'm trying not to make this as restrictive for you as it has to be restrictive for me, because I want you to be successful in this. And I've been doing this for a long time, both with other people and for myself. So when I get restrictions put on me, it's not hard for me to navigate through them. But for you guys, I want you to be successful and understand that I don't believe in restrictive dieting or restrictive nutrition. What I believe in is strategic and smart nutrition. But we have gotten away from a point of being sensible with our nutrition and being reckless with it, which is why you need to be reined and pulled back in to make yourself be successful with this. And I'm also trying to reprogram your taste buds so that when you go back to, or when you try to go back to some of the things that you were eating previously to this, they won't taste the same. It'll be too sweet. It'll be too salty, all of those things. Get used to reading nutrition labels. Get used to reading nutrition labels. Two of the biggest things on the nutrition label that will sabotage you on a regular basis is saturated fat and sugar. Okay, carbs to a point if you're not paying attention to them, but generally saturated fat and sugar. And just because something says it's healthy does not make it healthy. You need to read the labels, because usually if something is touted as healthy, they have removed something in it to make it healthy, but they have added other things which makes it unhealthy. And anything eaten to excess can be unhealthy, just like a healthy thing eaten to excess can be unhealthy. So make sure you're paying attention to those things. So again, you have your marching orders for this week. Your weights are due weekly, preferably the same time of day. It doesn't have to be the same day. Most people are going to be sending them on the weekends, but the same time of day. You get up out of the bed, go get your weight, and then send it to me. And then as we go forward, we go through this, I'll be adding some more challenges, because I haven't even gotten to the meat of what I plan to do over this next 12 weeks. So I want to ease you into it this week and let you get used to the program, get used to doing the measurements, get used to eating on a regular and consistent basis before I really start lowering the hammer a little bit more, because it is going to get lowered a little bit more, so that you guys are successful. So hopefully I gave you guys a good bit of information. I mean, this is a 32-minute video, so I'm pretty sure I did. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Post on the page so that everybody else can see those same questions and possibly get the answer that you're getting, that they may have had as well. I expect everybody to be successful in this. There's no reason why you shouldn't, because all you have to do is follow the process. Follow the process. Trust me, it works. If you think you know better than me, if you think you have more knowledge than me and you can do this on your own, then you don't need to be in this challenge, because you're getting everything that I do on a regular basis and then some. You can be successful if you really and truly want to. I will put more information out on when the once a month workout will happen. That will be on a Sunday, and it will be after 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking at probably about 1. Only because I have my own training on Sunday for 2 hours from 9 to 11 with my coach, and then I come to the studio and I do my cardio so I can get it all out of the way. So it would be after that, but I will put that out, and you don't have to attend. However, it is recommended that you attend, and that one Sunday a month workout will be $30. It's going to be an hour long, and it's going to be specific to the people in the challenge. The only people allowed to attend will be the challenge people. You can attend in person, you can attend virtually if you have the equipment at home. These will not be an hour long of body weight workouts. They're not going to be that. So if you cannot attend because you don't have the equipment, that's fine. Like I said, it's not a requirement, but it's something that I'm offering as an added layer to this, just to dial in a little bit more and make things a little bit more challenging for you to be able to do this. So again, if you have any questions, by all means, reach out, let me know. I will be posting the recommended supplements that I use on the page, and where you can get them from. And like I said, it's totally up to you on whether or not you want to use them or not. It is not a requirement. But these are things that I have been taking, and they help me. You see how I train and all of those different things. And so like I said, you should be successful. If you're not successful, then ask yourself, what are you not doing? Because if you follow the process, it will work. That's all I have, everybody. Whew, I think that was enough. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. And like I said, it's go time. Let's fucking go, people. I want to see some nice changes at the end of this. And I know you guys have it in you to do it, right? So let's make it happen. Peace.